fake Basilicom is going to attack our hideout and our friends if we don't do something quickly. So welcome back to part 15 of Neptunia Reverse, where we race our way back home after being tricked into thinking that everything that was needing to be stopped was in the station instead of Lowee. But we've got Magus in our team now, and you're gonna get a bit of playtime with her. Not too much. Like, she's gonna be around for the next few videos. But when we break into Chapter 5, we're going to meet up with Noir again, and we're going to have her around for long enough that, well, we need a full party of 4, and I might as well make it the 4 goddesses. Once that happens, though, I will warn you now, at some point I will try and showcase the rest of the EXEs, but outside of that, don't really expect me to be showcasing playable characters, because starting with Chapter 5, they kind of dogpile new playable characters on you. It's literally like every other thing that happens is a new party member joining. It's a new human character joining more often than not. And which very quickly starts to highlight the problem I have with the first 2 games, where the human characters outside of IF and Compa really don't feel significant. Like, Chapter 5 is where it really starts to, like, is where it starts, and it feels like it's most egregious. Characters will just start joining for nonsensical reasons. Things will just happen, and the character will be like, "Oh, I'm going to join the party now and help you guys out," and then that's it. They're in the party, and you're like, "What significance do you have?" You don't go for any character growth. You're not after any other objective. You're just someone who happens to be around, who's now randomly joined our party. They inflate the party member growth, so you have more options, and they all play fine. Don't get me wrong. It's just in the story and their characters, they are straight up worthless. Like, even Magus is a hard push. The reason why I say it starts at Chapter 5 and not Chapter 4, even though Magus, you know, another human character doing her own thing who just happens to join us, is in Chapter 4, is because at least Magus is a somewhat more interesting character. There's stuff under the surface that she's after her own objective. It just so happens that it lines up with us, so she's helping us out. And IF and Compa always get a pass because they are always the starting 2 characters. Like, they are part of, like, the OG trio. And so they always get more screen time. They always get some character growth and development and whatnot. They're always around. It's not like some of the other human characters where they're kind of just forgotten about. No, there's always significance to them in the Neptunia series. Even V2R, well, or the 4th game, Victory 2 or Victory 2R, doesn't matter which version you play, even though they're kind of worthless in battle, IF and Compa still have a lot of story significance because they're the only people that are consistently reliable to Neptune when the goddesses aren't around. Because the goddesses have all got to look after their own nations as well, so they can't always be helping out Nep with every little thing. And Nepgear does so goddamn much for Neptune because Neptune's so damn lazy. So having Iffy and Compa just be around is always something that's there. And that's something, like, if you've never played the Neptunia series, other than the fact that I really hope that I can encourage at least a couple of you to give it a go, because it is a fun series. If you have it on, if you're on Steam, you can pretty much get the whole series. Like, Rebirth 1, 2, and 3, the remasters of each game are on Steam, and I believe both V2 and V2R are on there. The differences between V2 and V2 Rebirth, or V2 Redo, as I like to call it, is not just the fact that it adds VR content and new music. It radically changes the gameplay formula to something different from the standard Neptunia gameplay. I, for one, actually like V2R's gameplay, but I know it's not everyone's cup of tea compared to the original series. I really like how much more dynamic and moving the combat is in V2R over base Neptunia, where it's a lot more static, where you move around, then pick your actions, let your turn play out, etc, etc. In V2R, they made it a lot more moving because everything had action points instead. So you could do as many actions as points you had, and you could stack up points between turns if you didn't want to use them all. There were ways of changing how much things cost. There were ways of making it so you got more points back per turn. Like, you could make it really dynamic with how you played, and I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the momentum that you could get in V2R. And to be honest, if they ever make a V3, this might end up being a bit of a hot take, and I don't mean it to be. I'm not trying to actually be like out here spark controversy. But if they ever do a 5th mainline game, I honestly wouldn't mind either way. with the gameplay style. If they made it like the main series, or if they made it like V2R, I'd genuinely be happy with both. Because I said V2R, how much more dynamic and like forward moving its gameplay is, made it more engaging even on like the lesser encounters. Whilst I noticed it more going back to these games compared to when I first went through them. But after I played V2R, going back to the first 3 titles, I noticed how much more of a stop and start it is. Like, a lot of the time when I'm recording these fights, especially when we're doing optional dungeons and whatnot, there's a lot of time when I'm in my recording where I sit there and go, I don't know if this fight's interesting. And I know that's always a problem with recording JRPGs to begin with. Like, it was the same in Nocturne, it's the same in both the Death and Request, it's the same in Dragon Star, same in like Net V2R. Like, in every JRPG I've done, there's always the odd fight where I sit there and go, this fight's not, is this fight interesting to watch? Like, it's always a hard one to gauge. But at least for me, it feels more noticeable when you play one as dynamic and forward moving. And I'm going to keep using those words because it's the easiest way to describe it as V2R. Then go back to something more traditional like this. You do feel how much slower it is. Like, it's like when you first play an active time battle Final Fantasy, so anywhere between 4 and 9, and then you go back and play 1, 2, and 3, and they're not active time battle, they're traditional turn by turn, and suddenly every fight feels like it's 3 times longer than it has any right to be, just because you're used to how forward moving and like constantly like active the ATB system is in Final Fantasy 4 onwards to 9. And at least in 10, even though 10 got rid of it, they had a lot under the surface extra to help keep it moving as a whole. And then of course after that is when they started really mixing with the formula, with 10.2 being more action-y, 12 being an MMO but single player, 13.1 being this weird hybrid of turn-based and action but never really knowing what to do with itself, 13.2 being a lot more better polished version of that, and Lightning Returns onwards all being action games or action adventure. But say that, speaking of Final Fantasy, I've mentioned it before, that after Neptunia Reverse, the next big project I plan on doing will be the 7 remake. I probably won't, like my initial plan, because my giant 2021 plan was Nocturne, this game, and Final Fantasy 7 remake. 7 remake will at least start this year. I have every intention of at least making that start this year. But I might, just for the sake of avoiding burnout on doing big projects back to back, do a couple smaller ones in between this and 7 remake. Like, I'm planning to do Sonic Colors Ultimate. Like, that's one of the ones that I'm really considering doing. And maybe Psychonauts 2, because I've just finished it and I'm not that far away from 100%ing it, and I fucking love it. It's one of my favourite games this year. Which I know is gonna be saying like that thought might change soon because of how many other games I'm super looking forward to is coming out later in the year. Like Tales of Arise I'm super looking forward to. But I'm really enjoying it, and I've enjoyed playing through it, and I want to go through it. And it'll be and I think I can get away with jumping straight to Psychonauts 2 because I did the first game live. How noble. It seems your diligence has spelled your CPU's downfall. The information I gave, why, I knew there was a spy, so I decided to use an existence to my advantage. This can't be happening. I'm quite disappointed, especially since I did like you personally. Let your death be the sentence for defiance of your so-called resistance. What's so funny? I just found it interesting. You're assuming victory so soon? What are you trying to say? Conversacion, no, awful. The ace is kept until the very last. What? How foolish. My messile forces will destroy anything you may have. What a brother, you're speaking of. Yes, there is no other choice now. Arthur, we brothers submit to you to join your force. What? What are you two idiots saying? Have you both gone mad? Being under the strong is a means of survival. The resistance was good while it lasted, but now it's a time to change. To add, my lady is more developed than Lady Blanc as well. How delightful. How interesting humans are. Very well, you two may join me. We are honoured. In the sake of your name and bold curves, we will serve you. Are you both serious? What happened to your faith in Lady Blanc? Our faith resides upon where one's heart resides. The breast. These fucking idiots. As such, our faith in Lady Blanc is flat as what she represents. Who are you calling flat, huh? Lady Blanc. Kept you waiting there, didn't we, Financier? Sorry to keep you waiting. Oh, how irritating to see all of you alive. So, is she the true enemy? You look like someone I know. Well, you look rather tired. I will kill you all along with Neptune. Neptune. Wait, where is she? Nep Nep? Nep Nep is right. Huh? Where is Nep Nep? She wasn't with us? Oh, she must have run off. Compa, just a fort here. What is it, Iffy? She's a bit short upstairs, isn't she? If you don't say it in front of the old lady so loud. I can hear you girls loud and clear. Was this about old and upstairs? Yikes, she heard! Huh? The BGM stops. What's going on now? 1. A game goddess appears to rid the world of the wrong. This voice. 2. To rid the world of pirated copies. And 3. To be rid of the grumpy old lady. I am Neptune at your service. What are you doing? Ow! Iffy, I was just making a hero entry back there. Way to break the tune. It isn't time to be fooling around. Just stay put. Oh, you know how long it took me to think of that for my entry? I crafted to it and raised the mood too. Just change forms already. Oh, do I have to? Your talk is just making this unnecessarily long. Oh, alright then, here I go. Iffy, now that I'm in this form, I was thinking, what? Maybe it would have been better to have done the entry in this form. I guess Nep Nep changed is still Nep Nep. So what if you've arrived? Not like anything will change, though it makes it easier for me to get rid of all of you at once. Same here, we'll destroy your weapons and you at once. So true, I would like to use this opportunity to return the favour back from Leanbox. Financier? Lady Blanc, you've done well. You can leave the rest to me now. Arthur, time to beat the crap out of you and those birds next to you. All words. Let's see if your actions can follow. Target acquired. Those heaps of junk again, damn it.
I'm gonna get serious on you. I will not let you have it your way.
This goddamn boss. On my original playthrough, this was the strongest kryptonite in the game. This was the fight that took me the longest to beat, and it's not because of the boss itself, it's because of these stupid fucking jammer pods next to it. One of them is the item jammer pod, and the other is the skill jammer pod. It literally does what it says. When this item jammer pod is still alive, you cannot under any circumstance use items. When the skill jammer pod is still active, you cannot under any circumstance use any of your SP skills or your EXE. So this fight is entirely a race, because you're gonna get chipped down, and there's nothing you can do to restore your health outside of having regenerative discs, which will only regen so much anyway. So your entire focus here is take one of these things down immediately. Prioritize one, then the other, whichever one you consider more significant. I've done this fight enough times that I've got the right equipment, and because this is reverse, I have a team of 4, so I can get away with spacing it out a little bit more. But if it's your first playthrough, or you're not playing reverse, so you don't have a full party of 4, for the love of God, put your whole party on one of those pods. Try and space them out a little bit. Like, it might be worth bringing Magus along with you just for the sake of having some spacing, because even if she doesn't do as much damage as the goddesses, it's extra guard break points, and it's someone who's not in the firing range. Because if you have all 3 characters, or 4 if you're playing reverse, circling one of these pods, you're all going to be very close to one another, so there's a chance all of you will get hit from things. What Vert is inflicted with here as well is also something that's kind of dangerous considering the situation we're in. That's Virus. I haven't really spoken too much about status conditions in this game, and that's because a lot of them are pretty standard. Like, poison is poison, paralysis has a chance to make you stop taking a turn, confusion will take your turn away from you because your character will just do whatever the hell they want. But Virus and Skill Seal are 2 that end up sticking out in this game and stick out in the series. More so Virus, because they buff Virus a little bit after this game to make it more significant, because you kind of forget about it a little bit in this game. The way Virus works is that it disables your ability to access your HDD forms if you're not already in them. In the later games, they buff it so it will kill your HDD if it connects. Like, it just forces you out of your HDD form into your human form if it connects with you, which makes it a lot more threatening, but actually makes it a threat to begin with. Because making it so Virus is a status condition that will only stop you from going HDD unless you're already in it, kind of makes it worthless, because you're either gonna go HDD at the start of a fight, or you're not planning to anyway, you know? But we've taken out both the jammers, so now we're free to worry about the boss. Which, to be fair, this boss itself isn't actually too bad. It's actually kind of weak. And I know why. It's like this because of because they don't want you to get like brick walled at too much, even though it is still very much a brick wall fight if you're not prepared. They want you to be able to deal with those pods without getting one shot by a boss, you know.
I will not let you have it your way.
But the other status condition of real note is skill seal, which you still get to have your turn. It's just sort of like how that skill jammer was, disables your access to SP skills and EXE drives. Which, to be fair, isn't too bad. Like, it is very manageable if you get skill seal, but if it's just when it's got the item seal as well, like you've got those item jammer things, that's when it's a threat. Like, if it's only one character with skill seal, you can worry about that later, you know. And because there's restorative items for every status condition, you can solve it through items. As I mentioned a few times in this game, item healing is one of the few JRPGs on the market like this. Item healing is more significant than magic healing. Because you can get single heal magic healing, or you can get single heal item healing. The magic healing would be based off stats, the item healing is here, have 5,000 health. You can get group-wide healing magic, or you can get healing circles. Yeah, you have to get some resources together to make the plans where you can even start buying them. But healing circles are the same sort of deal. You can heal a set amount. There are netball drinks. The netball, which is not even remotely subtle to what it's referencing, are percentage heals. So they all are always worthwhile. But we got vintage, which is something I end up equipping on Blanc clothing-wise, because I just, as much as I like showing off her Ultra Dimension, at the same time there was a little bit hitting me of, I don't want them to just always be in the Ultra Dimension costume, because otherwise they're going to look really standard when you get to Ultra Dimension in the third game. So I want to mix it up a little bit. So I do change a couple costumes as the game goes on. Still can talk back though. Well, here's a gift from me then. That's... Why don't you have an enemy disc? Why not? I created these. Does it surprise you that much? So the reason why Mr. Monster started appearing was... Yes, it was because of me. The hell? Now heal for a moment, Blanc. Shut it, sister. That bitch is the cause of all that's happening. I said heal. I cannot let her go as well. But now it's not the right time. Goddess of White. The Goddess of Green is right. Do not go in brashly. So what then? Let us run. Run? Why run? We beat the crap out of her and it's over. We are overpowered now. Running is tactically the best approach. And leave all my people behind? I did not say that. On the contrary, we should fight to let them escape. Blanc. I know, damn it. I guess that's all I can do now. So there you have it. Financier, run. We'll keep the enemy at bay. All members of the resistance, please head to Lean Box. Understood. You think I'd let you go that easy? Go, my monsters. What? Financier now has the chance to escape. Are you betraying me? Misfire is common on the battlefield, you know. That's what older brother mentioned. We are always on the side of the strong. The victor is neither you or Lady Blanc. It is Lady Vert and us brothers. Okay, I'll say it first, but they really suck. I was about to change my view on them, but I guess purrs are purrs. Vert, Blanc, both of you escape with Financier. Did I just hear that right? Neptune, did you tell me to run? You're the one to get Lowee back, so you need to get out of here safe. Why are you doing this? I told you, we need to help each other. And we are friends, right? Neptune. Alright then, I'll leave it to you. Vert, you go too. It would make their entry to Lean Box easier. Yes, but that means you will be fighting without me. That's fine, Lady Vert. This isn't the first time we've fought with Nep. Yes, we are the ones since we met Nep. If so, I fare you well then. I return as soon as I am able. I'll be waiting. And you lose Blanc and Vert? Well then, I shall join you folks. Magus, are you sure? As before, a certain one would be saddened to hear ill of you. Only a few of you left. Do you seriously think you can stop me? We were only a 3-person party and we did beat you then, so it's just this should work. IF, I believe you are forgetting someone. Oh, sorry, it just came out naturally with this scene. No matter, let's see how well you hold then. Yeah, we'll show you.
How foolish, facing me.
And now our party is reduced. I ended up leaving it like this. The game auto-filled Uzume and Plutia in instead of Iffy and Compa. And I was like, you know what? Sure, I'll keep it. I could have forced it to be Ith and Compa, I think, if I had Iffy and Compa be the assist characters of Blanc and Vert. But because I had Uzume and Plutz instead, it put them in front. So we've got Orange Heart and Iris Heart instead of Iffy and Compa. And they went, you know what? I'm keeping it. You don't get to see too much of these guys, and you're really not going to see much of them beyond this point because of how many characters we've got and the fact that we'll have our main party together. So for the sake of one extra fight, sure, Pluty, come out with Iris Heart and step on them. Sure, or Orange Heart, do your Valley Girl routine.
It is my turn.
I always have to hesitate before I say Orange Heart because I never want to get it muddled with Yellow Heart, which is Pishi. But this fight's not too bad after the boss fight you would have just done. Mostly because they know if you're not having Vert and Blanc in your party, your party dynamic's not going to be as good. And the reason why you're going to start seeing me be a bit more spending on EXCs is because, firstly, I know after this fight it's going to technically kick us out this dungeon and technically move us into another one. Because they're going to try and make a now do the dungeon backwards to run away. And it's just a trick of the eyes sort of thing. All it is actually is that it's a new dungeon that happens to have a reverse layout. Yes, everyone, let's get out of here. Don't think you can get away. Forces, don't let them escape. So now, this is a new dungeon. But it's just a dungeon we just did, really. And the only reason that you'd know it's a new dungeon, really, is the new enemies here and in reverse, the new music. Which, to be fair, is a nice track. You're also going to see a slight cut coming up, I believe, of me rearranging the party back to something that you're supposed to have, yeah. This is what your party is supposed to be. I say that when I'm doing any other version of this game, I say that when I'm doing Reverse 1, so I can't really speak on the original. My party dynamic doesn't include Compa at this point. Compa is permanently dropped after she leaves the party when Vert comes in. My party becomes Neptune, Iffy, and Magus in this part of the game.
Take this. Take this.
But I think that's like one of the only benefits of the party number being up to 4 instead of 3 is the fact that characters that I don't usually use that much, if at all, now get a chance to have some spotlight, and that will carry on into much later in the game as well. Because there is a chapter much later on in the game, and I won't spoil why or like what happens to it, but you essentially split up for a while to get several objectives done in a small amount of time. So you essentially split up into like 4 different groups. That split up there, it can be one of the most difficult parts of the game if you haven't put at least a teeny tiny bit of time into everyone. But with Reverse being a party of 4, it will be the best opportunity I'm ever going to get to showcase a lot of characters. It's why I was saying earlier about I am going to try and showcase every single level 1 EXE in the game. I probably won't show off all the level 2s, because if you saw that one in the other part where it was Nep and Vert, the way that EXE worked, where they both summon a giant weapon together, like they summon their own giant weapon and they attack together, is essentially how every level 2 EXE works between the goddesses. And what doesn't help, as I showcase, is that they're not great. They're not as good as just using 2 level 1 EXEs. Which is why you almost never see me use them, and from this point onwards you pretty much are never going to see me use them. There are level 3 EXEs and level 4 EXEs, but level 4 EXEs you're not really going to see in this game, if I'm honest. Like, level 4 EXEs become a lot more significant in later games. Namely, the 3rd game, where they straight up, as I've mentioned before, straight up got rid of level 1s to act as balancing, so you can't just spam them all the time. Because, full disclosure, we're very close to getting a plan called Super EXEs. In fact, it's once you finish this chapter, you can pick up that plan. Super EXEs make it so the charge up time on EXE attacks is radically increased, to such an extent where you'll get a level on the EXE bar every single fight on average.
What's with all those monsters? They just keep coming.
But we finally made it to the Sky Harbor. How sad, showing trepidation from just those numbers.
Nep, it looks like Magus will take care of them from chasing us.
What? That was a jab at light humor and...
Thanks, Magus.
That's super, Magi! You're really the mad magician!
No, this is not good. Not good at all. Ah, hello? What? You found traces at Leanbox. I must hurry then. I bid you luck. Lux teneve, imag nuitama sum. So I need to hurry to Leanbox now.
That was the worst acting I've seen yet.
I've got you now, Neptune. How unexpected to see you get this far.
Our 42? They're already on us.
How many times do I have to tell you that my name is wrong? That's it.
That form!
I assume defeating you in this form will affect those you are protecting.
No matter what form you take, those are all fakes.
True, I am a fake. But if I fuse two goddesses' power into one, I will surpass you.
What? That can't be.
Give up. And don't worry, Neptune. I will put your power to good use. You saying a fake is better than the real deal?
Blonde!
If you haven't forgotten, I am here too.
Vert, too. Why are you both here?
Well, I did promise that I would return, did I not?
Vert.
Hey, I ain't a jerk to the ones who are doing their best for Lowee.
Blonde.
Oh yeah? And you're the one who said we're friends, right?
Seems like the tables are turned now.
Looks like everyone is back together after all. That's because you always do your best, Nep. I'm so happy. Huh. Trash like you coming together doesn't change who you are.
R4, your power may surpass us, but we're not fighting alone. We'll all fight together and win this.
What's also appreciated is that you don't go too far before you get the goddesses back. They get the people to safety and then they do absolutely come back. See, this is you get to see me rearrange the party super quick. And every time I rearrange the party, I check to see what everyone's lily ranks are. Because although I'm not using the whole party like fully, I want to try and bump up every character's lily ranks as much as possible anyway. So you see, I noticed there, oh no, they already are really close. So the reason why I leave that on for a second is just because then I can hit level 10 on, I think it was Uzume with Blan, and then afterwards I'll swap them so they're both on 0 so they can start building them up as well. But what I'm also not doing is I'm deliberately not looking at where the lily ranks are in the giant graph, because at the end of the game I want to check it and see how close I got everyone to one another and kind of be surprised or shocked about how well or poorly I did essentially. And it is also worth mentioning, if you're playing the original or Rebirth 1, you might be looking at how quickly the lily rank is building up for me and going, something's not right here. Because it usually builds up extremely slowly. Like, it's like every... like, if you don't have any bonuses on it, later levels can be up to 100 fights before it levels up once. And you have to equip lily rank booster discs to make it happen faster. Like, genuinely, when you're going for the true ending in the second game, and you have to have Netgear have a high lily rank with every single character in the game, that turns into a hellish grind to the point where you need to have a disc on not only her, but as many party members as you can that boosts lily rank increase to shrink it down. Yeah, like, you notice how much quicker it is by default in this game. And that's deliberate because of arranged mode. Like I said, I'm playing the entire game on original mode, but they kept some of the arranged mode balances in original anyway. One of them being the speed of lily rank increase. Which, to be fair, personally, I'm completely fine with, because of how much of a needless grind it felt like at times. Especially because some of the skills you get are that worth it. Like, the EXE finishers are nice, but it's just an alternate finisher more often than not. It's not anything too special. And the EXE drives, well, let's be honest, considering the fact they're already kind of underwhelming, the level 2s, having to then level up their lily rank to a high level to even use it makes it feel even less worth it. So the fact that they made it so it was sped up entirely is very much appreciated, and I hope when the inevitable Reverse 2 comes around, that also has the sped up lily ranks. But actually, I say that they might be a bit more careful with that, just because of how many endings are sensitive to your lily ranks. Because there are some endings where it's like, if you only boost up your lily rank with a certain character, it will affect to a certain ending. It's only if you base up your lily rank for every character you start leaning towards true ending. But at the same time, there's also a couple endings exclusive to not at all touching your Lily ranks. In fact, there's a ending that's tied to a side quest, and if you do the side quest, beyond that, it's then dependent on whether you build up your Lily ranks or not. If you don't and do the side quest, you get the conquest ending, like one of the darkest endings in the Neptunia series, and if you do it, you get the Holy Sword ending instead. I won't be showcasing those endings when we get to Reverse 2. It's not like with this game and what will eventually be Reverse 3, where there's very little endings and they're all patented in a way that I can showcase them all. The second game, no, you have to start working on what ending you want pretty early on, and then once you worked on it, you're locked in for that cycle, essentially. So, doing the game several times to showcase different endings in what I feel is none of the endings are that satisfying. No, it's not happening. I'll showcase the true ending, but that's about it. You're quite tough taking all these blows. I can fix that. I just beat the crap out of her until I get my stuff back. This is the end, Arthur. Why have you returned Lowee back to us? You can keep this sad land of yours, but you will not get the powers I have. Never. What are you? She's literally like Team Rocket at times, where she just like escapes. Everyone, are you all right? Yes, somehow. What's happened to Arthur? Vanished again, I think. So, I assume we are the victors. We won? Yeah, but that old hag got away. Well, what was lost was recovered, so I say we should rejoice over that. Yeah. See? We entered somewhere else. We entered in the snow space up top. The snowfield, the Hyrule. Or the Hyrule, and now we end up instead of planes. That's what I mean. Like, it's just 2 dungeons. They just make you do the other one to treat it like you're running away. But that's the last dungeon of this chapter. Returning to Lowee for the cleanup. Oh no, we returned to Planetoon first. Well, that was one action-packed day. Glad it's all over, right, Blan? Yes, thank you all for your help. Everyone, Lowee is back under order again. Speaking of, isn't the work at Lowee requiring you to be there? The fake was ousted, so the financier is at lead there. Everything is fine. And it is the financier who asked me to be with you folks too. She's such a great Chamberlain. Yes, she's my pride Chamberlain, who has supported me all the way through. What about the brothers? Do you still have a grudge against them? Grudge? No, it looks like it was their way of buying time for us. But I think they're pretty serious about the whole breast thingy. Did you say something? Oh, nothing at all, ma'am. You're purposely trying to push buttons here, aren't you? They moved to lean box, mind you. What? Wait, does that mean they changed their beliefs to Vert? They said that with Vert around, they can't serve me even if they wanted to. Whoa, steady there, Blan. This is Compa's room, so settle down. Personality issues aside, they are capable, so they would be of use to me. Use, eh? But are you sure about that? Uvar and Lanlan are in lean box, so I'm sure they will get used to... Wait, that's not what I meant. This tone, it must be from Lanlan. Hello, Vert speaking. Lady Vert, there's trouble. My, is there something going on? Well, those two went into your room and... My room? So this is where Lady Vert resides. The glory! Oh, the brother, the room smells so decadent. Ah! Oh, you mustn't be so greedy. Let me absorb the air as well. Ah! Ah! What are they doing letting them in? Do something or I will kick you out. Lala tried to stop them, but they forced their way in. Oh, the brother, the closet is full of Lady Vert's glamour. What? Lady Vert wears such glorious attire? Younger brother, is that the bed of which Lady Vert lays to rest? Lanlan, stop them at once! But... Dive to the receptacle which carries Lady Vert's bosom nightly. Most certainly, older brother. No, stop! Yahoo! Bouncy, bouncy. Bouncy, bouncy. The bed is so soft, bouncy, bouncy. Yes, soft, yet quite firm, is it not? Much like Lady Vert. The fine silken sheets permeate with Lady Vert's aroma with such ecstasy. Wow, I bet Vert can outscream a banshee right now. Younger brother, we must find that next. Yes, older brother, that must be around. What's that? Lanlan doesn't know what you're looking for. Why, there's only one thing a man tries to find in a fine lady's room. Uh-oh. What? I must go to Lean Box and destroy some unwanted intruders. Vert is super mad. I guess that's how Lady Vert looks when she's mad. Later, we heard screams of agony from the cell that Vert left behind. What are you doing adding narratives? Ah, well, we know where it's heading, so I figured why not. Oh, but anyways, Blunt, you're going to be with us in our party, right? I may have to go back to Lowee sometime to take care of business, but if you will allow me, I'd like to help you out. Blunt, welcome to the team. Yes, looking forward to it, Neptune. Oh, yes. Financier asked me to give this to you. Isn't it what you're looking for? A key fragment! She found it in Arthur's room. Can't believe she had one with Lowee with her too. Thanks, Blunt. Now we are free, all thanks to you. So it was Financier who found... I'll skip all the details. I just wanted to say thanks to you, Blunt. Neptune. Now we have the key here. Maybe we'll get another chat again. Oh, right. The usual Histy Hour show, right? Histy Hour show? I think it's faster to hear what happens, Lady Blunt. Here we go. I summon you. Histy Alakazam. It's been quite a while, everyone. And a thirst for you, Lady Blunt. His voice is Histy. My actual name is Histoir. I am a tome. I've been sealed, so I asked Neptune to search for the key fragment. Okay. I am sorry for the lack of details here. There's very little text space to use. Iffy, Compa, can you please provide more details, Lady Blunt first? Yesy! Hey, Histy, aren't you forgetting someone else to give the details to Blunt? No, you're fine, Neptune. I can't expect you to give details well, so... Way to be subtle than me. But that's true. I'm not sure how to explain. I figured as much. Before I go, well done defeating Arthur and getting Lowee back. You knew about all this? I am the tome, Histoir. I record all that occurs in the world. Yikes, so you know about me snitching a pudding last night. Of course. At midnight, you ate Iffy's milk pudding. Whoa, yeah, stop, Histy, stop it right there. Ah, I see why my pudding went gone when I woke up. Anything to say, Nep? Aye, Iffy, your eyes are scaring me. You're not mad, are you? I think I have a good idea already, so what is it that you want to relay? Arthur's objective, she is trying to obtain all four goddesses' powers. Despite being copies, she has obtained Blunt and Vert's power. As such, her next target will either be Neptune or Noir. It wouldn't be nice to see her any stronger. If Arthur hurt, I doubt she will act right away, but please be careful. Okie dokie, we'll guard and protect Nep. It looks like my time is up. Please, I'm counting on all of you. No problem, leave it to us. Regarding Nep, that leaves Noir wide open. Well, let's go to Lust Station then. I'm sure we'll get to see Noir if we hang around long enough. Let's do this. We'll depart as soon as Lady Vert returns. And the older brother and younger brother were never heard of again. They're dead. Well, this is quite a problem. We're also in the new chapter now. What's the matter, Iffy? Since your old mate Nep here, it looks like we can't get approval to get into Last Station. What do you mean? We need approval from both lands, but the forms aren't getting approved. So we're being spam filters or something? Well, I guess that's what's going on. With Avenir in control of Last Station, this result makes sense. But we cannot get official approval to get across then. We'll have to sneak in. I'd rather not get in line of the law, but we don't have a choice. Well, I guess I better look for a cardboard box to do a metal snake sneak. Too bothersome. Yes, we will just fly there. Fly? Are you forgetting that you are a goddess? Oh yeah, right, we should just fly over. Finally. Yay, this is the first time I'm going to travel the skies, I can't wait. I suppose you don't expect that soaring skies is not what it seems. Anyways, let's get ready and go to the Last Station. Right. Which we will be doing soon, but not quite just yet. We've got a few other bits and pieces to do first, and obviously with it being a new chapter, we've got new optional dungeons to do. So my first thing I do is we got a new medal, so I pick up some of the new discs we can get. We're going to start getting dog piles of discs as time goes up. But additionally, around the country now, around the world even, you're going to see all these little text boxes, and almost all of them are for plans for system or battle mechanics, including Super EXEs. Super EXEs radically increase the rates you build up your EXE drive, and you get a magical reactor 2 to make it, which you just got from the boss you just did. But additionally, Jumping Star is now there. I don't bother getting Jumping Star just yet, but you can actually get it right now. A lot of people think you can't, but no, you can actually get it right now. The AG system is dropped by an enemy that appears in the Mecro Factory, but only when you add extra enemies to the Mecro Factory. So I don't do it just yet, but I will do it as soon as it becomes a feeling requirement. I am the White Heart, the land of white serenity. Lowee is the land of fairy tale and magic. Lowee is unique to how magic is put into practice. Fuck, I'm scrolling so fast for me. Of course, you can't use magic by just coming here. Oh, and there's a lot of snow. It's also cold. And these are Lowee's characteristics. Did it help? Well, I'm tired, so bye for now. Yeah, now there's free CPU blogs. Hello, Greenheart here again. I would like to introduce Leanbox's speciality today. First, my favourite, tea. The tea harvested here is considered particularly of high quality. I do love tea as well, but I drank a bit too much today. May I suggest purchasing a tea in a gift box as I come to Leanbox. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Next time on Neptunia Reverse, we're going to start side questing again before we go to La Station to help out Noir. But until then, you guys take care now. Peace.